You ever realize like how different your life could be had you made a different decision on something, or had some type of situation been a little bit different? Like your whole life could be different. It's just an amazing thing. I think about when you think about leadership,
right?
It's one of those things where like you make a decision,
right,
and it's like, dang, did I do the right thing?
Yeah. What's happening, people? Welcome back to Be More to Do More podcast, where we help you to become the person you need to become to do the things you're called to do. Your boy Tone in the building. And
what's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Henry A. Harden.
The what?
The third.
Don't forget the... You already know. Now, if I'm looking stiff, man, because we got these mics, bro, and we're trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Constant evolution.
You know what I mean? We evolving, but evolving and evolution requires more responsibility and more discipline. So yeah. Speaking of, bro, decisions. What decisions? What I want to talk about decisions, man. Here we are in 2024. What week is this? I don't know. I think it was end of January. But I want to talk about what role do decisions play in our lives. Now, it's a simple question, but it can be a little complex when you throw spirituality in there and all that too.
Right.
So I just want to talk about decisions, but I know you got some ideas.
Yeah, I got some ideas. So we'll start with the lyric of the day.
Wait, I ain't got it.
I'm about to say you got the button.
Wait, no, I got it. That's a laugh. That's a laugh.
Oh,
You can't hear, but I can hear.
it.
Okay, we can stop. Go ahead.
But now I want to start with the lyric of the day.
Okay.
And the lyric of the day comes from E40.
Okay.
Everybody got choices. And
wow.
The reason why I'm starting with that, because you ever realize like how different your life could be had you made a different decision on something, or had some type of situation been a little bit different? Like your whole life could be different. It's just an amazing thing. I think about when you think about leadership,
right?
It's one of those things where like you make a decision,
right,
and it's like, dang, did I do the right thing?
Yeah.
And then, you really never, I guess you kind of never really know, but you make it, I always believe in, and you make a decision and then make it the right decision.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So really just making sure that we just really want to explore the decision side and the situationals, how different things can go, or it could have been. So
right. I didn't think about this before, but I'm thinking about a few decisions I made that I wish I hadn't made. Yeah. For one, I guess I'll talk about that, and then I know you have something to talk about.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, cool. Am I interrupting?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
Okay, cool. All right. So one decision is, I remember, man, I was a day porter. I had a lot.
Like the hospital?
Well, in office buildings. I was cleaning office buildings, like office buildings when I was younger. And
job 136.
Yeah. That's why I laugh, man. And I think a lot of my decisions that I made are around jobs. It's crazy, bro. It's weird. But I was a day porter. If y'all know, it's pretty much a cleaner, right? And half cleaner, half light bulb changer, all that. So I was at this one particular building with Mr. Olin. Man, I love Mr. Olin. He was my head engineer. He taught me a lot about engineering, and what a building engineer is. It's pretty much like, you know how you have the maintenance guys in the apartment complex? So they are that, but with big buildings. So they know how to, deal with, the HVAC systems in big buildings and electricity. They know something about everything with these big buildings.
Right.
So he was teaching me these things, and man, it's like, I love that dude, man. And however, I wasn't hired through his company because he worked for a property management company. I was hired through a cleaning company, ICS back in the day. It's called something else now, under Mr. Mike, who was also my leader, my boss. I love Mr. Mike too, but he was a white older guy, but I wanted to stay with Mr. Olin. Y'all gonna hate me for this. Might be called Uncle Tom and all that, but I was put in a position where Mr. Olin, them property management company, was changing their contract with the cleaning service.
Okay.
So Mike was losing his cleaning service, his contract with that building. Mr. Olin wanted me to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So me being, I think I was like 20, 21. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna be logical about this. I'm not gonna let my heart lead my decision with this, because I really wanted to stay with Mr. Olin. I said, what if I stay with Mr. Olin and the people over me don't like me and they fire me or whatever. That's how I'm thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, but I'm familiar with Mike. I've been with Mike for 2 years, the white guy. I've been with him for 2 years. He know me, I know him. So if he sent me to another building, then it's just that. So I made the decision to stay with Mike. I wanted to stay with Mr. Olin, but I thought that I was thinking logically.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed with Mr. Mike. And he, it was my last day in that building. He threw me off on another manager at another building. Well, actually at Emory. And he wasn't my manager no more. This guy named David became my manager, another white guy. And I started working from him. And the job was way worse than with Mr. Olin.
Dang.
I'm going to tell you about this decision. I thought I was being logical, right?
Right.
But that decision taught me the key importance of relationships. Me and Mr. Olin had established a great relationship. Like, first of all, his son and myself, we went to high school together. We played on the football team together. Mm-hmm. And just so happened I ended up working at his building. So we already had some type of mutual connection there. And then he taught me like a lot. So I know when I left, it probably broke his heart, man. But I thought that I was being logical. Like, okay, if I stay here, the company that's coming in, they don't know me, but I know this company.
Right.
But the white man sold me to another white man.
Dude, you wild. You out of control. Out of control.
Hold on. Anyway.
But no, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like,
yeah.
All right, you're with somebody.
Uh-huh.
And, okay, so question.
Uh-huh.
The guy that was getting the contract that you wanted to stay with.
Right.
Was it like kind of like an underhanded thing? Like he was stealing it from Mike, or was it like a mutually agreed upon thing?
So the reason why they had that contract at that building Mike had was because of me. Because, I feel like I'm a people's person, though I'm an introvert, but I feel like, I'm pretty cool with people, and people, they just gravitate towards me. Mm-hmm. I hate to brag on myself, but that's just what it was, right? Yeah. So, and me and Mr. Olin, we already had a rapport. So the reason why, and plus I like to learn. I was young, I was willing to learn. So I had energy, and I would just go help out where needed after I get through cleaning.
Right.
So the reason why they kept that contract with Mike then was because of me. But the night crew wasn't doing a good job. So a day porter is the guy that cleans during the day. The night cleaners are the one that cleans at night. Night crew wasn't doing a great job. So the property manager's like, nah, we need to get rid of that company. But keep Anthony, but we need to get rid of the company.
Oh, okay.
So Mike got mad and was like, I'm taking Anthony. So he got in my ear and he was like, yo, like they talking about. So he took me to McDonald's. He bought me some food.
Butter them up,
man. And we having a grown man conversation. And it's crazy because he know I'm young. So he know, how you young and you want to be grown, but you just don't have that experience, right? So, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm with you, Mike. Yeah, let's go, man. Let's build. So, soon as they lost the contract, he sent me to another. I was like, what? And I kept calling Mike, get me out of here, man. What's going on? Like,
right? Any answer?
I mean, yeah. He was like, well, you got to give me some time. He was just really just playing around with me, man. Dang. Yeah, but yeah, man. So I just wish I really would have stayed with the black guy, man. The black man. Not even, and honestly, it's not really a race card. It's really a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that, and it's not even business, it's just pride, man. You mad because they want to let your contract go, but they want to keep me. So it's really just pride. Well, no, I'm gonna take him too. You know what I mean? And I just got caught up in that, and not really thinking. But that decision taught me a heap about relationships and decision making, even in business. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And just the type of players, and you know, and stuff like that. So, man, shout out to Mr. Olin, man. Hey, look, I was young.
I write him a 4-page letter, man.
Yeah, I always say, like, you know, once everything take off, man, I'm gonna go back and see him, and you know, and make sure he good. I know he probably good because he made a really decent, good chocolate change, man. He was trying to get me to where he was. But I end up, after I got sold to that other guy, not real talk, after I got sold to the other guy, but I'm going to show you where that decision took me. After I got sold to the other guy, I know I'm just really taking over, man. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Hey, this is you ain't got no, yeah, you good.
Okay, after I got, because I started working in Emory under another white guy, and I think I did that for like 3 months. I was working in ER, 12-hour shifts on the weekends. And if you've been in ER, it's disgusting. Like, you see all kind of stuff, right? It's nasty. So I was calling Mike every week. Mike, man, you got something for me? You got something for me? Help me, man. Help me. So just so happened, the guy that I was under needed somebody to go clean another building or be a day porter in another building because another guy went out of town and they just needed some backup. Because I work 12-hour shift on the weekends, but I can do overtime during the week, you know, filling in for people.
Yep.
So I went to this other building, and there was this another white guy. He was the building engineer, right? So what happened was that I leveraged the information that I learned from Mr. Olin. And I was like, oh, what you got here? Oh, you got a PIU system. Oh, okay, that's great. Great. Okay, cool. And I see you use fluorescent lights. Okay, cool. And he's looking at me like, this guy's like 20. What do you know about this?
Right.
So like at the end of my week there, he was like, what do you think about coming over here full time? So it led me there. But anyway, all of that because of what Mr. Olin taught me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, and now just looking back, I'm like, yo, I really just should have stayed with him. Help him build, you know, but you just never know, man.
Yeah, your life could be totally different, right? Had you just stayed with him, right?
Yeah.
And whether that's good or bad, who knows, right?
Right.
But you know, just like, and almost like it almost made me think about when you think about it. It almost made me think about like Marvel in like the Marvel universe, and like
about multiple universes.
Yeah, like they got multiple universes, and like I'm not saying I believe that there's a multiple universe thing, but
I definitely do. Go ahead.
Yeah. Talk about that. What you mean?
Nah, I just because I'm more spiritual, so I just believe that. I believe that everything was already predestined. You know, so I think your decisions are the ultimate key to following down a path that was already set before you, before the foundation. That's why when I pray, I said, thank you for the purpose that you set before us, before the foundation of this world. Because in my mind, I already know that the Lord, he told, was it Jeremiah? I knew you before you was formed, you know? God already pre-planned. He already knew what he was creating you and establishing for. So I already know that anything or any step that I walk out in faith, it's already predestined. And even if this is the wrong decision, that's why he gave us his only begotten son. He knew we was going to need his son for grace. Yeah. You know, so, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
All that, right.
All that. No, it's deep though. It's deep though, cause it is predestined. Yeah. You know, it is predestined. But you know, it made me, your story made me think about, you know, my story a little bit, right? Where, you know, like just remembering like how different my life could be. Because like business, I'm not gonna say, like I feel like I was always like meant to do business.
Yeah.
In a sense, like
Right.
like I just didn't know. I didn't know what business was. Like I didn't know. I just wasn't educated on it. And
Okay. Can you try selling drugs?
so okay, so
No,
I didn't. But I remember wanting to join a gang because I thought that, you know, because like gang members had money,
Right,
so you just
right,
like, oh, you're in the
right.
gang, so you get money.
Right.
Like I didn't understand like.
Bro, this podcast just went from PG to PG-13 real
Just,
quick.
you know, yeah, but
Go ahead.
but yeah, so like I just feel like I always was meant to do business, but I didn't know how. And I even like had the thoughts of like, okay, dang, I could go to Sam's
Right.
and buy some candy bars and just like flip them in middle school.
Yeah.
You know, that was like my thought process, right? Or whatever. Never did it. Or whatever. But so, you know, when I was able to get my first start into business through network marketing, right? And it was like, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, man, like had I not done that, or had I been like closed off and not being curious about what this person had to talk to me about, like my whole life could be different right now.
Okay.
I could be I don't know, working for the state or something, you know, just like making no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying, you know,
for the state. Okay.
You know, everybody know the state don't pay nothing, right? Like, let's be real, right?
Right.
But you know, it's just different, man. Like the skill sets that you get, just from that one decision, being like, you know what, come to my house or come to my apartment and show me what you got to show me.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Nah. So that one decision changed your life.
100%.
It changed your life and it got you to the place where you are now.
Yeah.
But see, I don't know if you remember when we was having it, because we kind of pre-planned this. It's conversation. No, we just had, you know, just brief discussions about it. But I don't know if you remember me saying, I can't relate.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know why, though?
Why?
Because it wasn't the decisions that I made, but it was the driving force behind it. And you said something key. You said, I knew I was kind of always called to do business.
Right.
How did you know that?
Like at the time I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. Like at the time I didn't know, but looking back on it, like I've always had this like, what we gonna do to make some money?
Right. This desire. Right?
Yeah. Like this desire to make money.
Is it about making money or the feeling of creating money from nothing?
It's about not being broke. You know, like it's definitely about not being broke. Cause you know, just like, you know, like, again, like you grow up, you go to the store and you might want something from the store and your parents like, no,
you can't get it.
Don't even ask me for it.
Okay.
Right. Before you walk into the store, you got the rundown of what you better not do.
Right.
While we in this store. Right.
So your drivers are pretty much different than mine. Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm more motivated. Again, I feel like we talked about this. Maybe we didn't, but I'm more motivated by the fear of loss than the opportunity to gain.
Oh, okay.
So like the fact that like I couldn't go into somewhere and actually like get something. It's just like, nah, I want I want what I want. You know.
Oh, gotcha. So
that's just kind of how it always played out.
That's interesting, and that drove you to, okay, well, let me figure something out. I'm trying to think about your inner mechanics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that plays a part in like decision making. You know what I mean? Like our inner mechanics. I guess that's the deeper part of decisions. Like, why do we make the decisions that we make? You know, and just finding out why that is, and then I guess with that you'll begin to see a bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you saying that, okay, the fear of loss and not just wanting to be broke. Right. I know, but what? Okay.
Well, like now, like even like now, right? Like fear of loss. Like, okay, I'm okay if I lose it all.
Right. Okay.
Like here's like I'm okay. Like it was meant to be is meant to be.
Right.
Period. Right. But at the same time, it's, you know, if I make a decision, it needs to be a sound, like right decision
Right.
or I'm gonna make it the right decision.
Okay.
Because I don't want to go back. Like, you know, like your worst fear has been a used to, right? Or not used to be a used to. My worst fear has been who I used to be, right?
Oh,
so it's like
going backwards. Makes sense.
You don't want to go backwards.
Yeah.
But if that's what it is what it is.
Right.
And you rebuild from there. You
Right.
know, but so I'm okay with it. You know, and again, like this, we talk about decisions, right? Like, and everything, like you talked about being predestined.
Mm-hmm.
I also understand that whatever is meant to be is meant to be.
Right.
So if God has, you know, saw fit for you to get accumulate all this or whatever,
right,
and take it away, you should be excited.
Yeah.
Because now you're second, you know, you coming up again.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a bigger testimony to people.
Definitely.
That God is real.
And I think too, like you're a different person, man, if you go backwards. It's not even necessarily going backwards. Like, I mean, you talking to somebody who did this. My wife be like, bruh. I've been there like numerous times, you know what I mean? And the situation looks the same, but in fact it's different because you're different and you see it differently. You know what I mean? Like every time I started a new entrepreneurship venture, I was back in a hole, but the situation probably to my wife looked the same. Like, yo, come on, man. Yeah. But to me, it's different. I'm like, oh no, I learned this from, you know what I mean? Right. Because ultimately my decisions took me there. Like, and so that's why I was asking, like, because me, like entrepreneurship is something I always knew that I would do, you know, I just didn't know how. And I just think like my dad is a builder, right? He can build a house from the ground up. And I think my brother, he's pretty good with his hands too, but me, not so much. But at heart, I'm still a builder. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm like, man, I want to build something to see what I can make of it. You know, so I think, you know, entrepreneurship was the right platform area for that. So I was always driven to be an entrepreneur, but every time I start a new venture, I always ended up like in a hole, or you know what I mean? Like, and my wife be like, yo, I'm tired of being here. But she don't see what I see sometimes, because the last venture, I accumulated so much knowledge, I can see better now for the next venture. You see what I'm saying? So like, that's why it's easy for me to see, like, to get with, like, do Medium, like, okay, oh, now we need to do this, duplicate this. Right. You know, and now the part is about it, like being in leadership, just influencing other people to see what you see. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I've been here so many times, like, yeah, I just been here, just, it looks the same. I just know how to get out of it, you know? So it's like, okay, let's do this and duplicate this, and then we'll be, you know, or whatever. How did I get here? Yeah, no, but it reminds me of, you know, I know something Myron Golden talked about, right? Where Myron Golden talks about the, you know, what he said, the first thing that somebody tells you about them is probably one of the most important things about them. Right. And he talked about God and how, you know, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Right. So the first thing that God told us was he's creative, right? So if he's creative, right, and he made us in his image, right, and we're creative as well, true. Right? So that's true. So it's just, you know, you're just, like you talked about, your dad likes to build, your brother likes to build or can build, and you have that same building. You know, I think a lot of us do, right? Like we want creative, right? We want to be creative, right? Or like why? And that, I don't know if this makes sense too, right? Like sometimes you see people, they got the easy way, like there's an easy way to do something, right? But they create this whole other way of like, dude, you even have to do all that. Like you could have just easily did A, B, and C versus, you know, you don't went the A, the D, the F, you know, like all the way to W back to B. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't make sense, right? Right. So could that be because people are just creative? Nah, that's me. Real talk. You talking about me? That's why I laugh. Because my dad said, I remember in 2014, he said, I was filling out this application, but I was doing it on my phone, right? I was filling out a job application on my phone, and the phone was not like an update phone. So I was struggling. So he was like, why don't you just go use a computer? And I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it here. And he realized something. He was like, He was like, you different. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, because it's so new to me, right? I mean, it's so normal to me. He was like, anybody else would have just used the computer to do it the easy route, but you're trying to figure out a route, you know what I mean? That's much harder.
Right.
And I'm like, I guess so, you know what I mean? And it's not the point of, it's the challenge. Like, how can I maneuver this on my phone, you know what I mean? And just make it, just break it and not let it break me. Right. That type of thing.
But sometimes, I will say this too, right? Sometimes doing it a different way instead of like the traditional way also can free you. Yeah. Because you might be used to doing, I wish I had an example at the top of my head and I just don't.
Right.
But I know there's different things in my life where somebody say, all right, and it's going to be kind of hard to explain, but like, so we have an application, you know, at work, and there's a way that you can input information. Right.
Right.
So I was taught one way to do it, right? Just do it this way, right? But I was just playing around in the thing like, okay, what does this button do? What does this do?
Right.
And what I realized is that there is a way that you can do bulk things, like you could do all at once.
Oh, wow.
So basically was, you know, if I needed to update something, I could update 5 things all at once.
Oh, dang.
Just by being like curious and creative.
Right.
And again, I guess it kind of goes back to decisions too, but just by being that curious person, I saved myself so much time over the last 5+ years once I figured that out. And I was able to teach it to other people too.
Oh, you created it.
Yeah, so like, and I
create a course and sell it.
Right? So people would come and they will, you know, they'll come to my operation. I'll be like, hey, why are you doing it that way?
Right.
I know why, right? Because that's what nobody else, you know, I'm like, hey, do you know you can do this? And you can actually change all this at the same time instead of doing all of them individually. Mind blown.
Wow.
Mind blown. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Right. And now I look like a freaking genius. You know, like freaking the expert, genius. Right? So there is I don't know, freedom or I don't know, I guess time freedom, but there's a benefit to being that way of like, all right, what's another way we can do this and challenging the status quo?
There's also some cons, bro.
Yeah, some cons too.
Hence why I had 100 and something jobs, because I think I was obsessed with that, man. Always trying to figure out a new way versus sticking with, you know how you say, stick with the process. Now that I'm getting older, I'm finding my way to sticking with a process, because sometimes I would try to figure out another way around the process and end up in a hole. So I have to go back to the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think me doing that helps me to understand the process better versus just blatantly doing the process and, you know, not understanding the process. But yeah, it caused me a lot of jobs, bro. I got a question though. So, because we're talking about decisions, but also I sense that we're talking about this creative piece too, being a creative. Do you think most people settle for a 9-to-5 because they don't know? Do you think they make that decision to settle for a 9-to-5 because they don't necessarily, well, for the people who's not happy, you know, who's just stuck in, because they don't know a way to use their creative capacity or whatever?
Yeah, that's a deep question. I think it's a couple ways you can look at it.
Okay.
But humans, most people are going to choose the path of least resistance.
Okay.
Right?
Makes sense.
Now, let's be real. Like, majority of humans, most of us, we're lazy.
Yeah.
Like, you could, you know, go start your own business and, you know, do what you love and all that. But it's a lot of work to be able to do that, right?
And that's a lot of resistance.
A lot of resistance, right? So what happens is, you know, let me, you know, I was having a conversation with, you know, my wife, right? And we was talking about purpose and talking about, you know, revenue or whatever, right?
Right.
And she was like, well, I could go do this because that'd be pretty easy to do that. I was like, yeah, but you could do that, but like, is that something you want to do?
Right.
Well, no, not really.
Right.
So like, it's just being intentional. Like a lot of times we have to be intentional about what we want.
Right.
And then like, okay, let's put the work in to get, cause you may be, and that's where I really want to transition this conversation to. And when we talk about decisions and situations or whatever, like today you have a choice on what you want your life to look like.
That boy transition.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm an expert. You know what I'm saying?
Thought leader, boy.
Thought leader. But no, in all seriousness though, man, like
the culture is that. Go ahead, bro.
This is why you have to be able to decide where you want your life to look like in the next 10, 15, 30 years.
That's true.
Because you've made a decision up to this point, or your decisions that you've made has gotten you to this point, right? But the decisions that you make from here on out is really going to be able to, because now you're at the crucial parts of your life, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Like you're what, 25, 35, maybe 45 years old, right? Like,
right. Oh,
like
yeah.
you got time right now.
That's true.
You know
That's
what I'm saying? Like you got, and it doesn't, and with technology nowadays and
yes.
Everything that you have that's at your that you have access to,
right?
It doesn't take 5-10 years to build something anymore.
Right.
It take 5 to 10 months. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's crazy.
It's just you have to apply the right things, right? You got to build, but like the decisions that you make today, that's what's going to determine what your life is going to look like.
That's
not
true.
the decision that you made, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Like you got to. So to answer your question, if the person that has a 9 to 5.
And I think I need to rephrase that too, because I don't want to say 9 to 5. That I think that's the old way of saying things. Because if we look at the Frito-Lay guy, right,
the person that's not happy,
the purpose, because this guy, he created the way even within the system, So if you're not happy at your 9 to 5, you know what I mean? Like,
you may be an entrepreneur and you're not happy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, that's the real. Like,
I know because some entrepreneurs, they found the easy way to make money, and now that's what they're known for. But they have more in them that they can do to make money. But they stuck.
And stop being scared. Don't be scared, man. Like, don't be scared to just like do it. Like, people are going to challenge you. Right. People are going to say you're crazy. Yeah. Like, why would you, maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're making X amount of dollars and you want to go, sell, I don't know, scarves. Like, do it. Like, if that's your passion, do that. That's because true. It's gonna support, like, your dream is gonna support, your passion is gonna support your lifestyle, right? That's
true. Yeah.
Now you make sure you do it the right way. Don't just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be smart about it. But like, I just, man, life is too short for you to do something that you just don't like doing.
Yeah, I think I really know that's true, man. That's definitely true. I know there's a few arguments out there that some people say don't follow your passion. Some people say follow your passion. I'm with the follow your passion. Because mostly the people who say follow your passion are the billionaires, but the other ones are like millionaires. So, but the thing is, when it comes to passion too, though, and finding a niche market to cater to is where you're gonna get most of the bumps in the roads. But I think ultimately, like you mentioned, it was something in you that just don't want to be broke. It was something in me that wants to be creative. Yeah. And still something in me that wants to be creative. And I think it's something in all of us that, I'm going to just say this. God said, the word says, delight thyself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. I believe there are some desires that God put in our hearts that we have to follow, but the ultimate deal is that we have to take a step back and just really put down what we think we want, right? And just really be in tune with him, to see what it is that he placed in us so that we can follow that desire. Yeah. That takes faith though. Yeah. And that faith, if you have that faith to go that route, that faith will take you to your ultimate place or your purpose, whatever. And that kind of brings us to the scripture of the day.
Ooh, let's go. That's what, hey,
I'm practicing, bro. Hey, you know what I mean? You know, we thought leaders out here, bro. The scripture of the day, man. Proverbs 16:9. Proverbs 16:9. It says, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his step." And like I say, sometimes we think we know what we want, you know, and sometimes we make decisions on those things that we think we want, because ideally we may see somebody else have something and we may plan towards that direction because we think, hey, this may be for me. And I'm just saying this because I've been through this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in actuality, it's not you, you know, and there may be some underlying desires that you're not really. I think sometimes we put off our desires because we don't see nothing out here that looks like, you know, what we're feeling or what we desire. We don't have nothing to build on. But this is where faith comes in. You know, you have to have faith and just be in tune with the Lord and just take one step at a time. And you may mess up. You know,
you will mess up.
No, you will mess up. And that's the thing about decisions, is that like once you are, the Bible says, walk by faith, not by sight. When you're walking by faith, you're walking hand in hand in partnership with the Lord, you know? So even if you mess up, what you're doing is you're learning yourself and you're learning who God is, you know, and you know, that knowledge and that revelation means more than any other information that you gather in your life, because you can take it and apply it in anything in your life. You know, if you look at Abraham, man, he wanted a kid at what, 99 or something like that, and Sarah was like 190 something. They was old pretty much, and he thought that the way to do it is to get Hagar pregnant, you know, and to have Ishmael. But Ishmael wasn't the promised child. That wasn't who God was talking about when he said he was promising him a child. It was Isaac, who he gave through Sarah, because God wants to get the glory. He did something out of the unnatural to get glory. But yeah, Abraham still messed up. He still had Ishmael, you know, but the Lord didn't write him off, you know, because the Lord understands that we need grace.
And that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Right. That's why I say it's predestined, you know, and people say that, you know, and I know I've been raised to, you got to not really they don't really say you need to make the right decision or the best decision. They would imply that if you mess up, that the Lord is punishing you or something like that, when really he's molding you. You know what I mean? He's molding your decision, because the more you walk and make wrong decisions or right decisions, the more you learn who you are. You learn him. That makes you closer with him. And nothing else means more than just having that tight relationship with Christ. You know, when you're walking, you're making these decisions, because you know that whatever decision I make, he got my back. I may fall into a hole, but I've learned from it. And in this hole, it's going to shoot me 10 to 20 steps further than where I was. You know, so, yeah, man, we can plan our way, but he directs our steps. He's always with us, you know, molding our steps and our decisions on which way we should go and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I mean, this whole conversation, I feel like it's kind of, you know, went a different way than we anticipated, right? And I like it though, because like it almost makes you like be at peace with your decisions. Yeah. Like, and it's really just about being at peace. Yeah. Because it reminds me of like me and my wife been watching this show called Reacher, and this dude, you know, he's this, I don't know, ex-military guy or whatever, but it almost seems like he just goes around solving crimes or something crazy, but like he's like a drifter, right? He's like a you know, a nomad, what you want to call it. He doesn't have a house. He doesn't own, I don't think he owns, quote unquote, is a toothbrush. Okay. Right. Okay. And like he is such a, like, even if like he like dude, they end up getting like a bag of money, right? And he didn't keep none of it. Yeah. Right. And it just made me think of and just listening to you talk made me think about that, and it made me think about, even if you are broke, if you're doing what you love and you're happy, right, does anything else really matter? Yeah, right. Like, I'm happy, I'm doing what I love, and like I feel like I'm doing what God's called me to do.
Right.
That's really all that matters, you know, like in life, like it just, we get so caught up in what other people are doing. And, I get it, social media and all that stuff. Like, I get it. But like the reality of it though is, man, I made a decision and I'm at peace with it because I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what God has called me to do.
Facts.
I don't have to make money from this.
Right. So I don't know that the entrepreneur in me just cringed when you said that. Nah, I'm just kidding. Cool, man. So I think I'm out.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got it out.
Man, that went by super fast. Y'all be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Let's get this information out of here, man. And I think we out.
All right. Somebody keep their head up because you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game short.